I'm Nellie Sciutto,
And I'm Jill Bandemer.
and we are brought to you, as usual, by Telecolon, Palm Beach, Florida, USA. And hello to all of our people around the world.
Hello.
We are still, I mean, the world is emerging, and we're happy to see that. There's a lot going on, obviously, in the United States and around the world. But we wanted to talk about the people who are making Hollywood reopen. And our favorite is Tyler Perry, because he really seems to be leading the way. Doesn't he, Jill?
Yeah, he really, really does. Like he's putting forth the effort and getting everything in place. And I am really hoping that this will work because I feel like if this works, if he can safely get people back on his sets and start filming and everybody's working, it will then open it up more so in Hollywood because we're still waiting to open here. Like nobody's on set here in Hollywood.
You're right, exactly. We are. And it really is a test case. And it's interesting because I was reading about his studio, and his studio actually used to be a military base, which is great because that means it's set up to house people. And as we discussed before on the show, his idea is to quarantine people before they start working, to make sure they have a totally safe set. And he shoots 22 episodes in 2 weeks, which is incredible.
That's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable, and I kind of love it because it takes away the giant budget. It's just as entertaining, it's just as well done, it's just as well acted. And, you know, I've been on a lot of big sets in my life, and there have been times when I've found them a little ponderous, where I thought, do we really need to do that shot 50 times? And I understand that some production companies have, you know, millions of dollars to burn. But in times like these, when people don't have billions of dollars to burn and they should be spending on other things and helping people, et cetera, it just seems like, you know, it's entertainment and they're going to keep it that way. And I bet you he helps to kind of even out the playing field with this new plan.
I think so too. I mean, I worked on a show years ago and you were part of it. It was a reality show called How Do I Look? And it was a makeover show. And I mean, they would film for like a full week. And then we're talking 12, 14-hour days. And I remember Finola Hughes, who we love. She was the host of the show at the time. And she, you know, she's known for General Hospital and stuff, Anna from General Hospital. But I'll never forget, like, there were so many pickups one day, and I would go visit the set because I was doing casting for it, but I would just pop in and stuff because it just, I admit, I get bored. They always say, like, writers and stuff, you get bored on set after a while. But I made it to set one day, and I'll never forget her saying, she was just like, it was a long, long day, and she's just like, what are we filming here? Bloody Cold Mountain? Do we want an Oscar for this? And I agree, because I think Cold Mountain was coming out then or had come out. But it was like, why are we continually going over one or two pickups throughout the day? And it, not one or two, but, you know, it literally over and over and over again. So I think this will be like a faster pace on set. And we've talked about this before. I think if anything that we've learned right now is it doesn't always have to be perfect. Look at Game of Thrones. I mean, gee whiz, all the time that it took to film that show, and they still had Starbucks cups in there somehow. Like, I'm like, and I mean, it wasn't the end of the world.
No, and I've always loved when the juxtaposition of people from different eras, like the commercials that crack me up, or when people are dressed as like, you know, they're on the Mayflower and it's Dunkin' Donuts or something that makes no sense, and it's really funny to watch that. So to me, seeing those Starbucks cups, you know, in the bloopers was hilarious.
I think that's great, and nobody should get fired over that, because in the olden days it'd be like, you're so fired. Well, who cares? That show's over anyways. But I mean, you know, I mean, goodness, makes it kind of fun, you know, and sometimes it's like, maybe it's intentionally put there, you know, like you're just like, when you watch movies and they're like, well, it was supposed to be in the 1980s, but they had a, you know, I don't know what, you know, a cell phone or some technical thing.
My husband is like that because he's a car person. And he knows exactly what year every car is. And he'd be like, that's 1976, and that car wasn't even around yet. And I'm like, oh my God, how does he know that? Like, he looks at the cars all the time. But, you know, I'll notice things. I notice things like the reflection in the camera. You know, somebody's reflection standing behind somebody. I mean, we notice that because that's what we're looking for, right?
Yeah.
We're shooting something and we're like, oh my God, can you see that behind me? So when we're watching something, we see it, and it always makes me smile. I like to see the mistakes.
Me too. I like to see it too. I'm not like, oh, that's so unprofessional. It's like, that's just life. That's reality. And
we're not saying that Tyler Perry makes a lot of mistakes. We're saying he's very efficient.
Yeah.
And I like that because it's almost like he's a one-take wonder, which is how I've always liked to act. or I like to just do it, like go for it, do it, and keep, of course, if you mess up and you've got to do it again, it's fine, but it shouldn't be in your mind, I'm going to do it 50 times. Like you show up prepared, and I bet you he demands that, and I like that. And he's got 2 shows coming out right now. Let's see, Bruh, BRUH is airing. It starts airing this Thursday, which I think is great. And Bruh, what's up, Bruh? It's a comedy, should be hilarious. And he has Young Dylan, a kids show on Nickelodeon.
Oh.
But it's killing it. It's about a 10-year-old trying to be a rapper in the business.
Oh, I think that's delightful. I think that's wonderful.
But it's really cool. And then he wants to return to production July 8th. And I think he's going to do it. He's got, 2 shows that are lined up, Sisters and The Oval, both on BET.
Oh, that's great. Wow.
Yeah. So, I think he's going to be able to pull it off. And again, I believe you're right. It's going to show what can be done for the rest of Hollywood, because there's probably going to be a lot more money spent on being safe.
Yeah.
And a lot less money spent on redoing.
Yeah.
But everybody, Jill is still in Hollywood and I'm out in the Hamptons. So that's why I'm in a different atmosphere. And we too out here are shut down. And but it's beautiful and it's 80 degrees and you can be outside and run around. It's very California weather. So it's not half bad. And I think we're all on the verge of really opening up.
I hope so. I mean, I think there are a lot of questions still as far as just you feel for the makeup people, you feel for the wardrobe stylists. They're close to people. They're in close proximity. And somebody raised this question in the very beginning too. It was like, if you're watching a love story, of course, eventually you want the couple to eventually kiss. And what's that going to look like once, how are you going to handle that? I think it's going to take some time and we will get back to normal though. My big question mark is will it be this year or will it be like next year? Yes, we're in full force and gangbusters and, everybody feels really, really safe like that I think, and it will happen. It will happen.
Maybe we need to look to the porn world to see how they're handling this.
I know. I mean,
I think about that, but I'm like, how the heck are they going to go on? Like, that's a big money making business. How are they going to go on right now?
Oh my God, you're right. You are right about, and you know what? They've survived through everything. I mean, they have survived through everything, absolutely everything. I mean, it is just. I have to say, it's an unusual time. But it's also a time, I feel like I'm learning now more than ever. I'll never forget, I was so when I left college, I was like, well, that's it. There's no more to learn. No, that's when life really starts and you're really learning. And now I'm like, learning about the virus, don't do this, don't do that, learning about how to be on a TV set. What's this going to look like where everybody's kind of, you're just so stuck in your ways. Not stuck in your ways, but it's like a well-oiled machine. You're set in your ways, and that's how you do it. And now everything's going to be a bit different. So I think it's exciting. We have to view it with okay, let's see where this takes us. It'll be new, improved ways.
Yeah, I agree. And so back to Tyler Perry for a minute, since he's our topic and our fearless leader through this craziness. Do you know he just sold his house to Steve Harvey for $15 million? His giant house in Atlanta, which to me was actually surprising that it wasn't more expensive, which I know sounds ridiculous because I'm not buying a $50 million house. But I just thought, well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
When you think about the prices of houses in Hollywood and, these 30,000 square foot homes that people have,
But that's Atlanta, right?
Yes.
That's what people often say, though. They say the houses there, the housing market is, if you want to buy a house, even if you want to buy a $200,000 house, go to Atlanta, So yeah, that is surprising though. It is surprising. I think if I heard correctly, I don't know if you knew this, but I think Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, I think they are renting a Tyler Perry home out here. I'm not quite sure. I think they're also staying in and it's worth probably 15, 18 million, something like that. I don't know. I have to preface this. That's a lot of money to me. So I'm I can't even imagine.
I was like, not that I'm in the market for it, but I just meant it surprised me because Atlanta, like Dallas or all those cities, they're not inexpensive, you know, they're really not. So it surprised me. But maybe it's, you know, out in the country and, you know, anyway. So the other thing I wanted to say about Tyler Perry was, did you hear his song where he got all these singers online to sing, he's got the whole world in his hands? It was the cutest thing. He got everybody to sing. It was a beautiful moment, and everybody, you can look it up on YouTube. If you want to feel good about things, it's such a nice, very basic gospel song, and it's just so sweet, you know, and you see these people singing their hearts out a cappella. It's really, really kind of cool. And I didn't know Tyler Perry had such a good voice.
I love that. I grew up singing that song. You know, I was just like, and you just feel good. You feel good about that. You know, we need a lot more of that these days. So no, I have not seen that, but I will check it out. Absolutely.
Thank you, Tyler Perry.
Yes.
So that's been our episode. I'm Nellie Sciutto.
And I'm Jill Bandemer.
And you've been watching Coffee Talk, brought to you by Telecolon, Palm Beach, Florida, USA.
Have a good week.